In the last week, over 450,000 people tested positive for coronavirus in Europe, almost double the number of cases a month ago. And here in the UK, the number of hospital admissions is now at the highest it has been since mid-June. Last week, the ONS said that while the rate of increase may be falling, the number of cases is still rising. Yesterday, there were 12,594 new positive cases. The rise is more localised than first time round, with cases rising particularly sharply in the northeast and the northwest of England and parts of Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Now more than ever, with winter ahead, we must all remain vigilant and get this virus under control. Mr. Speaker, I now want to turn to the operational issues on data publication and the future plans for medicine licensing and, of course, the announcement of 40 hospitals made by the Prime Minister on Friday night. Mr. Speaker, I want to take the first available opportunity to set out to the House the technical issue around case uploads discovered by Public Health England on Friday evening. This is an ongoing incident, and I come to the House straight from an operational update from my officials. On Friday night, Public Health England identified that over the previous 8 days, 15,841 positive test results were not included in the reported daily cases. This was due to a failure in the automated transfer of files from the labs to PHE's data systems. I want to reassure everyone that every single person who tested positive was told that result in the normal way, in the normal time frame. They were told that they needed to self-isolate, which is, of course, now required by law. However, these positive test results were not reported in the public data and were not transferred to the contact tracing system. I want to thank colleagues who've been working since late Friday night through the weekend to resolve this problem, and I want to set out the steps that we've taken. First, contact tracing of these cases began first thing Saturday. We brought in 6,500 hours of extra contact tracing over the weekend, and I can report to the House that as of 9 a.m. today, 51% of the cases have now been contacted a second time for contact tracing purposes. I want to reassure the House that outbreak control in care homes, schools and hospitals has not been directly affected, because dealing with outbreaks in these settings does not primarily rely on this particular PHE system. Second, the number of cases did not flow through to the dashboards that we use both for internal and for external monitoring of the epidemic. Over the weekend, we updated the public dashboard, and this morning the JBC presented to me their updated analysis of the epidemic based on the new figures. The Chief Medical Officer has analysed that our assessment of the disease and its impact has not substantially changed as a result of these data, and the JBC has confirmed that this has not impacted the basis on which decisions about local action were taken last week. Nevertheless, this is a serious issue which is being investigated fully. I'd like to thank Public Health England and NHS Test and Trace, who've been working together at speed to resolve this issue, and I want to thank everyone for their hard work over the weekend. Mr. Speaker, this incident should never have happened, but the team have acted swiftly to minimise its impact, and now it is critical that we work together to put this right and to make sure that it never happens again. Mr. Speaker, another important area of our coronavirus battle plan is treatments. As the House knows, the only treatment known to work against coronavirus was discovered here in the UK. And as we leave the EU, I want to use the opportunity to improve how quickly we get new drugs to patients here. So the UK is joining with Canada, the United States, Australia, Switzerland and Singapore in Project Orbis, which will allow international regulators to work together to review and approve the next generation of cancer treatments faster. This means pharmaceutical companies can submit treatments to be reviewed by several countries at the same time, so we can cooperate with the best medical regulators in the world and make approvals quicker so we can get patients the fastest possible access to new drugs. This is an exciting development, and we'll join this scheme fully on the 1st of January after the end of the transition period, because we'll stop at nothing to bring faster access to life-saving treatments on the NHS. Mr. Speaker, we're investing in our hospitals too. And 2 weeks ago, I announced to the House that we're investing an extra £150 million in expanded capacity in urgent and emergency care, so hospitals have the space to continue treating patients safely in the pandemic. On Friday, I'm delighted that my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, set out the 40 hospitals that we'll build by 2030 as part of the package worth £3.7 billion, with 8 further new schemes invited to bid for future funding, also to be built by 2030, including mental health facilities. This is the biggest hospital building programme in a generation, and the investment comes on top of an extra £33.9 billion a year that the government will be providing to the NHS by 2023-24. We passed that into law right at the start of this Parliament, Mr. Speaker, and these 40 new hospitals across England will support our mission to level up our NHS so even more people have top-class healthcare services in their local area, and so we can protect the NHS long into the future. Finally, Mr. Speaker, it's critical that our rules are clear at a local level so that the public can be certain of what they need to do to suppress this virus. And I'll update the House in due course on what action the government's taking so we can have more consistent approaches to levels of local action working with our colleagues in local government. For now, it's essential that people follow the guidance in their local area, and if they need to check the rules, they can check on their local authority website. Mr. Speaker, history shows us that the battle against any pandemic is never quick and never easy. It requires making major sacrifices and difficult choices. And I know that this has been a tough year for so many, and that we're asking people to persevere as winter draws in. Because the only safe path is to suppress the virus, protecting the economy, education and the NHS until a vaccine can make us safe. And I commend this statement to the House.